Hey everybody, I'm back. I'm here. I'm not here in my studio. I'm here in Ann Arbor, Michigan. I just did a a workshop, 3-day workshop for the Minneapolis. I was going to say, no, it's the Michigan Watercolor Society, and I'm here in Ann Arbor. And tomorrow I'll be heading over to Detroit, where they're going to have the show and we have to pick awards. But today we're going to be doing this train. Somebody had suggested last week to do a train, and so that's what we're doing. Now, one of the biggest miserable things I did is I didn't pick up a beer. Oh my gosh, I don't have anything to drink. All I have is a Snapple peach. So we have nothing to cheer by, but I guess we can, I can give you cheers by a peach tea Snapple. Sorry, guys. Anyways, so we're going to be doing this train scene, and thanks for the suggestion. And so we'll see how this goes. And let's take you to the website, my website, BeckerArt.net, for anything you want to know. And let me know if, again, what you want me to paint. And I will be doing this every Thursday. And even if I'm away, even if possibly in 2 weeks though, I'll be up at Dillman's and I may have to do a plein air because they don't have really good Wi-Fi up there. So we'll see how that goes in the next couple weeks. But for tonight, we're going to be doing this train, and here are my supplies. I'll be using Holbein watercolors, and we'll be doing BeckerArt brushes, which are also Holbein golds. I'll be using no masking fluid, no transfer paper, but I will be using Stonehenge Aqua. And let me go to the value study because I want to show you what I did here. So what I did with this train scene, I turned it black and white, and then I put a filter on it for Photoshop. I was telling the class today about these filters on Photoshop, and actually you can even do this on some of the phone apps. Some of the phone apps, what you can do is you can posterize it, basically, and this is called a cutout filter. And so what it does, it takes my black and white and it takes it into layers of value. And that's what we're here for. Always, watercolors have to do the values, right? We have to make sure that the values are looking good. And so that's what we're going to do. And I was just deciding that I was trying to figure out what colors I'm going to use, what values are going to be where. And so basically, his name's Schaller. He does a lot of paintings where the foreground is very rich and dark, and that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do this, the foreground, which is this guy right here, the train himself, the rails right here sitting on the side. Those will be our darkest darks. This is gonna be, that's in the picture, you can see that's just where the line goes, and I'm not gonna make that. So what I had done in my drawing, I'll show you in a second, I made a little tunnel, so you're like going right into the mountain. And then I was thinking, what kind of color should I use? And then I was thinking, well, I think I'm going to use grays because I was looking at a watercolorist who I thought I used to never want to do trains after I saw this guy's work because it was the best train paintings I've ever seen. His name was Ted Rose. He's since passed away, but Ted Rose was one of the best when it came to doing train scenes in watercolor. If you look him up, Ted Rose, watercolors, and I think he had a book up. I can't find that book, but look at his work. If you Google his name, Ted Rose, you're going to find some amazing, amazing watercolors. Let's go to our tabletop and get started here. And again, I'm in Ann Arbor at a Hampton Inn, so I'm not in my studio, so this may not look super bright or anything, but it's the best we can do. And so there's the scene we got up here, and let's see who's here. Let me put my glasses on so I can see who the heck is here. Here we have today is Barbara, Marianne, Tom, and Kathy so far. So here we go. And you can see I have a really clean palette today. I'm gonna do this in grays. I was just looking at some of Ted Rose's trains, and because I wanted to just get inspired by his train paintings, and I Googled his name, and it came up with quite a few, not as many as I was hoping for, because I remember seeing tons of beautiful, beautiful watercolors of train scenes. And but the ones I did see, there are a lot of black and grays and gray color tones, excuse me, tones in there. And so I'm going to do that. I think I'll go with the blue orange complementary colors because the rooftop of this is kind of orangey. I know we have a lot of greenery in here, but you know me and greens. So the orangey or yellow and violets and the blue. So I couldn't decide. And I know these shutters are green, everything's green. So, oh boy. I just don't. I think I'll make them in gray greens if anything, and so I'm gonna stick with like gray blues and then like I think instead of this train being or blue, I'm gonna turn it into a red train. Just the side being more rustic red and warm, and so that way being warm, it'll come forward instead of being blue. And so I'm just going to take my artistic license. And you see what I did here? I put a tunnel, like it's going into the tunnel. It's like, ooh, because I think this train actually goes up a hill. Like it's one of those trains that kind of climbs up a hill in the Swiss Alps and stuff. So we're going to change things around. We're allowed to do that. And we have people boarding over here. And so we're going to get going. Any questions, anybody new, just let me know. Put on the side there. Hey, Sue from Poughkeepsie. Happy June 2nd, Kathy. Tom, hi, from Green Bay. I should be up at Green Bay in the fall, I think. I'm doing something up there in Green Bay. A couple of people asked me this week on Facebook if I'm going to be in their towns and stuff in Ohio. And I really don't have many planned except for Dillman's. So Dillman's is coming up in 2 weeks. And come to my Dillman's workshop in 2 weeks. And let's see what the 16th and the 17th, 18th, I think something like 18th of June. And it's going to be an acrylic workshop, but still I handle acrylics like watercolor, and so you'll have a lot of fun with that. So looking at the values, since I go light to dark, I'm just going to do the whole background, um, and then work my way forward. And the background, right from here into the building, there's like the mountains way in the distance, and then the steam coming out of the engine. I'm gonna put that in right in the get-go because I'm gonna put that in because it's the background here. So I'm gonna wet this, and I'll put this roof in as a lighter color because it is lighter. No, hmm. I may just make it a different color, and so I'll wet only around it. I'll wet around it. All right, so here we go. Ask questions, guys. Nice clean palette. You like my palette, Tina? We had an amazing class this week. We had about 12, 13 students, and I've got some new painting reference material that I think really worked well. I mean, we had some really good students, and I was very impressed with all the ladies. And we had one man. It's always that way when we do our workshops. We don't have too many men in the workshops, but we had one. And Rocky was we did it in his home, which was an amazing home, and he had a great studio. And so we had some fun. And that was for the Michigan Watercolor Society. And so see, I'm wetting everything. I'm wetting everything down. I'm just gonna wet the whole mountains in here. And I'm gonna go in here with grays. Like I said, I'm gonna do a lot of grays today because I'm gonna push the color in the front, and the values are gonna be like all dark up here, almost black. I'm gonna use a lot of grays. And so when I do put a little bit of color in there, it will really shine. So kind of a grayish mood with a red train. So it'll be like that, okay? And maybe a little bit of blue. And this will be perfect that I didn't clean my palette because I can get a lot of grays. And see what you do? You save yourself some money and just don't ever wipe out your glass. Now, if you don't have Holbein, you kind of have to because um, they don't rejuvenate as nicely as Holbein does. And I just noticed that Holbein now has a new logo. So I don't know if you saw that on the front page here. Let me just go right back, and here's the new Holbein logo. See that? The whole new Holbein logo. They're new and improved, and they're modern now. So we're going to be very modern company that looks has a bunch of new products coming out. So very cool. So here I'm going with some grays, and look at how ugly that gray is. Isn't that great? And so we're gonna make this. I'm not sure if this is a sky or what this is. Maybe this is the mountain. But see, I want it wet so I can make this darker. So then this, boy, is this even watercolor paper? I sketched this on. Oh no. Oh, I'm always doing that, right? And when I'm away, I didn't look at my palette. I think this is a different watercolor paper. Oh well, we'll make it work. And so we're gonna go through here, and I'm gonna keep the sky white because it's that bright. It's kind of overcast, or if it's not overcast, it's so bright that it turns white. Because what I want to do is I want to make the smoke and steam also pretty white, but I want to put some shadow in there too. And the shadow, I'm gonna make a little dirty color in there so that it just blends out. Oh, what the heck paper did I use? Look at that. Look at the thing I'm getting. I think this is that cheap paper that I used one time. Oh boy. It'll work. If you're experienced watercolorist, you can work on anything. Really, you can. So I'm gonna put this over here, put the little smoke, the steam. I shouldn't say smoke, right? It's steam. Steam smoke. And going up here, wiping it out and kind of come up this way. And then I'm gonna take the same blue that I had on this side and bring it down to the mountaintop. And so the mountain itself will be kind of a grayish blue, like it's in the distance. And then being the sky being white, then that just looks like it, the smoke goes into the white sky. Now you need some darks around the smoke that's white to make it look like white smoke, right? So you have to watch out for that when you're doing a scene like this. You need to make sure that you're gonna make things dark, even if it isn't. You have to make things darker there. And so as I come forward, I'm gonna get more gray, and I will probably take a little bit of green. Hey Kathy, hey Patty, hey Carol, hey Barbie. And we're gonna put this in here like this. And so tomorrow I'll be in Detroit, and I'd be judging the show that I had juried in some people, and so now I got to give the awards away, and so I got to figure out which ones are gonna be good and which ones are not so good. But they're all good. I mean, every painting that you judge in is going to be a good painting, and so now I got to figure out who's going to first, second, third, and I think actually there's going to be a lot of awards because of COVID. They didn't have a show, so they're going to give a lot of awards away. So that's what I'm doing tomorrow. And see, now I'm going forward, how gray it is. I want grays because the trains, they're very black. The engine itself is very black. So you can put some color into the black. And I'm going to make that warm. And as I'm coming forward, I'm going to get warmer and warmer, more vibrant, but gray. So my trees and such are going to be very gray-green. We don't use as watercolors. We always think we need to use really bright colors and always beautiful colors. But if you look at some of Ted Rose's work, I noticed that he used a lot of grays because it kind of lends itself to train paintings because there's a lot of the smoke, the steam itself comes out. A lot of times it's very dark against the light sky. Maybe that's what I should do over here is make the steam reverse the thing. I think I will do that. Didn't even think about that. So that's what maybe we may do. So you can ask questions, guys. So it's good to ask questions, so I know so I have something to talk about. And so cheers with peach tea. Oh man, I just can't believe it. I was gonna try to run out real quickly, but there's no time. There's actually a nice shop on the road, and I think they would have had some good beers in there, but I forgot about it. So cheers, everybody. It's been a long day, long 2 days. Hey, Patty from Buffalo, New York. We're on the other side of Ohio. We're in Michigan on the lake. So you're probably close to Lake Huron, is it? Cleveland, it's Cleveland. Okay, so this is going to get darker. See how it's getting darker, and as it comes forward, and I'm going to put a really bright color right here, where it is in the photo too. Right up here, there's a little bit of green, a light green, but I'm going to think which color should I make that? A light yellow, maybe, because I'm going to use some red. I'm using red and green, so it's okay to use green. I'll use like a lime green, more yellow. And so right here, we're going to put some yellow, run that across the top there. And then this green can be, you can put a little bit of that in there too. And then it gets really dark down here, so let's go real dark. And so I'm getting my lights, and you always work your light to dark, so I'm getting my lights, but when there's a chance to put in a little bit of dark, then you go do it right away because it's a soft edge. So I'll do that like there. And again, I'm getting very, Schaller, I forgot what Schaller's first name is now. He does a lot of foregrounds really dark, and as you go back, they get really light. And so that's what I'm kind of doing. And so we're going to put these trees in front of this tunnel. I made a tunnel there. I thought, that's kind of cool. Tunnels are cool. Now I'll use a little bit of warm red. Red with green make brown. So I'll put that in here, make this really nice and dark. This will be the entrance to the tunnel. Kind of put that in there. Hey, Jessica. And here we go with a little darker in there. I'm hoping everything is working out fine with the technical end of things because I'm not in my studio, so this is my makeshift studio here in my hotel room at the Hampton Inn. So hopefully that works out okay. And then we go down here, make this we're gonna make this like a nice green. We'll make it a greenish yellow. And then bring this around, and then this lamp here is lighter, so I'm gonna go around it. Go around the lamp. We're gonna make like pine trees, like the shape of pine trees. Now this car is going to be light in the back here, the roof. So by making it dark right there, it brings the locomotive forward. Nice green in there. And see, I'm working this side. I'm working from back to front. I will re-wet this, and I don't have a sprayer, so I will have to re-wet this. And then I'm gonna make a dark cloud. That cloud steam go from dark to the light. And then this building will be darker through here, and so that'll look really nice. So yeah, let's keep on going here. I just want to use a smaller brush. Hey Kathy, everything looks good? All right, I'll keep on going then. Here we're gonna go around this thing, this little, make it nice and green. Of course, I'm gonna make it gray green. I really have to make it gray green because, again, Ted Rose, look him up. Ted Rose. Hope you can find some of his work because it's really hard. I know I saw a book on there. I got to get his book because I was telling my class today too. So sometimes when you're doing objects that are different and you don't really know much about it and you want to see how other artists handle that kind of subject matter, it's a great thing to do. And I knew that Ted Rose handled these trains the most beautiful. I actually didn't ever do trains because I couldn't do them better than that. I mean, just so beautiful. And I don't know trains really that well, but this guy knew them really well. And he was always known for doing these beautiful train scenes. And so check out how he did them. Check out what he did to make his, mark in the train painting business. And because that is a great way to see how somebody else handled it. And then it helps you out too. It's almost like it teaches you how maybe you can take some of the pointers from how he did it, and then you kind of apply it to your work. It's not stealing. We all do that. We all, that's why you take teachers like myself, and you go and see how I do things, and then I help you out. Now he is no longer alive, so he can't have things, but his paintings live on, and he will help you out as an artist. So here we gonna make this a little bit grayer. This is a little bit too gaudy, so I'm gonna make it a little grayer because I said I want these things to be like kind of gray. And see how the light now hits that side? So grays are good for paintings because it makes the light parts and the colored parts really pop. Now I'm gonna head over here. This is just gonna be dark. These are gonna be dark. So what I want to do there is get some gray in here to do the light part. Because again, you always do the light parts first. And so even the gray inside the wheels, and I'll put a little lavender in there, violet. This is like the light part of this, and so that'll be like the metal. And so I'm just putting that in there now. And this is gonna be like stone, so I put a little bit of texture in there. I'll go right into this a little bit. This will be the light part of these rails. And you see how dark it is there. Those will be really dark, but I still like to have a little bit of stuff over there. A little bit of well, I just noticed I have my palette turned around. I always have it in this class. I always have the white right here, right? Remember? In my studio. So let's do that. I'm get used to that when you have it one way. you kind of get very used to it, and so you don't want to be searching for your colors. So I was looking for my lavender. I'm like, where is it? It's on this side. All right, and so then in between the train cars, I'm gonna see if I can't get the light parts of the train car and the color. So I'll wet it. The tops of the roofs are light, so I'm gonna keep them white, and I'm gonna take the sides, and I'm gonna get the color, the light color, and I want to make them red instead of the blue that they are. I want some warmth coming forward, and I'll make it as it goes back. It'll get darker, and it won't be as vibrant of a red or a warm color. And again, this is the light part. And look at, I'm even putting a little green from in there so that it kind of blends and it goes in the background and it all works out good. And then up here, I will go a little bit darker. Carol asked what the name of the Ted Rose, did I say? Ted Rose. Ted Rose. Yeah, there's nobody that painted trains better, and he was he actually I've seen a couple of his shows. He was a Chicagoland artist, I think, and or he did a lot in Chicago because I met him once at one of the shows at the Pal and Chisel. And now we're gonna do rooftop, and we're bringing this around this way. Yeah, I mean this guy really look him up. I would have put a link to it, but I couldn't find anything really substantial of his work. But take a look and check it out and see if you can find something that's substantial with the amount of his work. You'd be surprised. And if you want to do trains, it's good to look at people who do trains, and it'll give you ideas and how, what it is. And also at the same time, I found some really nice train pictures too, which I think better than this one. But it's like, oh, too late for that. Some real nice old steam engines that were just amazing, and they were amazing shots. But I'm not sure if they were royalty free. This one's royalty free, and so I can get in trouble by painting this one. Uh, Steam right here. I'm gonna soften the edge in a second. See how it's like some parts are soft, and I'm making it gray, and there's this shadow in here, and then I'll make the front of the building a little bit. So basically the warmth in there, I'm gonna kind of keep all the warms the same color, like this is red. So underneath the eave, I'll put a little bit more red in there to keep the reds and the greens. Because basically what I'm using is red and green. Can you imagine that? Me using red and green? Oh well, sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. So we're gonna go down here. And another thing too, like a lot of times we have copied famous artists' work. If you want to get into trains and do a lot of trains, copy some of his work and see how he handles things. It's a really good thing to do. So the rooftop of this, I'm gonna make kind of the reddish also color, light color. I'll go in there and get the lights now and the light color, and then I'll go back in and get those dark shadows. And again, kind of copying the color. And even though it may not be this color in real life, you do it as an artist because you want this to look like it all coincides with each other with the color scheme. And then the darks will take care of the objects. Lights are for the color of things, and the darks are for objects. Like, look at these darks already. They're trees, right? And the trees also make the train. So everything that you put in dark, the colors are just the color of the objects. But then to identify the objects, then you put in the darks. And I'm gonna come down here. This is gonna be a little bit lighter. And most of the people down there are darker than the background, so I'll put a little light over them. I don't want it too dark at all because I want this to be the shadow. And I'm not gonna make it too detailed. I just want it to be kind of loose and soft edged. And if I'm looking at the rail, there's a little bit of like gray, beige in the ground here. I can go right into the train because that's gonna be really dark. That's gonna be super, super dark. And then over here is a little something. And then I gotta get a little of this green. Since I did use green, I'm gonna grade up this green because it's got a little bit too. I like the yellow. I don't mind that. And so I'm gonna do the same thing, bring it over on this side, the yellow. God, I can't believe I'm using yellow. It's like, hey, there we go. And then that kind of matches that one side to the other. And so put a little bit in here too, just so that we get the shape and the reflection of some yellow coming forward. And then the gray green. And good thing I didn't rinse off my palette, because you can get really easily gray greens with your dirty palettes. And so we're gonna go in here, and the shutters later will be dark. So I'm getting all my lights. Remember, I get all your lights first, and then on the train itself, I'm gonna make the steam engine itself. I will make black, and maybe a hint of red in there because. And so since it's gonna be black, sometimes black you can put like a blue to make it look like metal. You just take a little bit of, let's take ultramarine blue, they make it a great green. So I'm just gonna put it over parts, and I'm gonna leave the lights because there's a few lights on this thing that are really bright. I'm gonna wet the whole surface like in here, and I'm gonna just get a little hint of light color blue. And then when that dries, I can go in, and then it'll look like the parts that I leave alone look very metal-like, and they'll be have a little bit of blue in there. And then I can also mix a little bit of red in there to make it. It's gonna of course make a violet. Hey Liz, yes, definitely better late than never. You probably get some new people, since I've been here now in Ann Arbor, Michigan. A beautiful town, Ann Arbor. It's a nice university town. If you've ever been here, it's very beautiful. Little lights over there. I'm really kind of liking this. Is looking pretty neat. Got a little bit of darks in here, middle tones again. Again, I'm just kind of putting in my lights, waiting for my really dark darks. They'll be coming up. And now I'm going to get that steam in there. I want to make it reverse steam. Here it's light, and then as it goes up there, I want to take clean water, wet it up here, and I'm going to put the dark steam going into the light steam. Because here it's against the white sky, and what kind of color? Dirty color. It's going to be, it's steam, and so kind of a dirty color. And I'm just taking, to get a good gray, that's how come you don't clean your palette. That's the reason I did it, right? I can say that now, but I just never clean my palette. Tina knows that. I never clean my palette because it's like you're wasting a lot of paint. So see, it goes from a light steam to a dark steam, right into the sky. And then when I do this really dark, right, coming right out of the chimney of the smokestack there, it'll be fun to make it really dark. You watch how everything comes together once it's really dark. Now, since these shutters, I want to make some color from over here, go over here. And so I'm going to take some of this green, otherwise it's going to look really odd. A lot of times I don't mind greens, it's just that I don't use the right green, and then if you don't use it somewhere else, it just becomes very, So I'm just going to go in there. And I didn't use a window brush. You have to use a rectangular brush to do a rectangle window. Why you use a round brush, because then you can't get the corners. See how always use a flat brush to do rectangular shapes. So if you don't, you got to make each corner, and it's so stupid. It's a dumb thing to do, using a round brush to make a rectangle. It's good for making circles, but not rectangle windows. And up here, we can put a little green in there too, a little dark, and then I'm gonna wait for that, and then we'll. All right, I think we're ready for our darks. I'm gonna start on this side, and I'm gonna make our tunnel nice and dark. So inside the tunnel, we're gonna, the top wall right here, and as it goes back in there, it's gonna get really dark. And then we're gonna do the opposite direction for the wall, and I'm gonna actually even take black and whatever color is close to here, really dark, because I gotta suggest how dark it's gonna be, because then the rest of this is gonna be incorporated with whatever that dark is. So make it really nice and dark, and look at that tunnel, isn't that great? Oof. And I can do, like I said, I made a tunnel because I just thought it looked better than it like rolling this way and the line going this way. I'm just gonna put it in there. I have no idea where this is at, and so I'm making up my own land. Oh my gosh, you guys are talking. What's going on here? You didn't miss it. Sarcasm doesn't work all over. Was there a couple of weeks ago for a workshop? Oh, Tom was already there at a workshop in Dillman's. Cool. I'm making my first art studio. What is the top furniture or things for the room? This paper is interesting. Darker colors start with a granulated look. Spear. Yeah, this paper, I'm not sure what this paper is, and it's got a really weird texture, a man-made texture. So it's not the best paper I've ever used, but you just do with what you got. And oh, somebody took us, Kathy took a nice train from northern Italy up to the Alps. Ooh, that was a great. Look at this little harsh edge. I like that. And then it goes into the soft. Yeah, it worked. Not too bad. This way. Okay, now let's go with our darks. And so let's start over here. I think it's dry already. Boy, this also dries really quick, this paper. And so I'm going to go in. And like I said, when I do my darks now, it's going to be dark. And I want hard edges and I want to explain things. And I'm creating objects. And here I'm creating the line of the roof. This is a metal roof and it has lines in there. And nice darks. And nice. And when you're doing your darks, make sure they're going to stand out. So don't wiggle. Don't drink too much coffee when you're doing this part. Or if you have a style that's very, wiggly, then yeah, drink a bunch of coffee. If your style gives you that option. And so I'm going to put these lines going down. And there's two windows right there. And what darks am I using? I'm using Prussian blue, black, purple. If I want them warm, I'll put a little red in there. If I want them more blue, oh, don't put your finger into the thing. And then I'm going to put these little windows up here. Again, using a round brush for a window. Oh, what is coming of me? You have to do rectangles, rectangle brush, flat brushes for windows. And so then underneath here, we make it dark. It shows a little bit of that. And I know that it looks really, it sticks out like a sore thumb right now, but when I get all these other darks in there, that's going to look just totally fine. They look very fine. And actually, I'm going to soften some of the edges here, and so that they don't look so too hard. And now underneath there, I'm going to do a nice dark. And then I keep on looking up, back up at the photo so I can see what's dark and what's light. And these windows up here, the shutter is open, so there's a little dark inside there. What am I doing? Okay, where's my brush? There it is. There's my window brush. See how good this is? This is going to make a good window. So here, see, watch this, how easy, much easier it is to make a window with a flat brush when you're doing a rectangle shape. And where's my sun coming from? I have to figure out where my sun's coming from. It's coming from above up here this way down. So it's going this way. And so this stuff is underneath. It's going to be dark, but just for a little bit. And then I'll negative paint that. I'm working my way forward. So I'm going to get the stuff back here. This is going to be really dark. And I'm going to make this more blue back there, bluish green, because it's farther back by the trees. So I can put that in there like that. The windows and the doors on the train have a little bit of lines. A little bit of lines like here and there. I already painted the color. Remember the first color I already put up there, so I don't have to worry about that anymore. And I go down here. This is in between the train cars. And then I'm going to just do like a little bit of dark through here. And then little hits to make it look like there's wheels. Yeah, there's definitely wheels on a train. and And then there's the rail. The rail, a lot of times you can put a little shiny thing for the rail, and then the little boards coming out, the timbers that are sticking into the ground. And now up here, see how it's just getting darker and darker as we come forward. And then these windows look like there's actually a couple hanging out of this window. Um, I may put them in a minute. Let's see. We can see what happens here. And again, this is more impressionistic, so I'm not getting super, super detailed, but enough so that you can see what things are. And then this is the third car. Or is this the actual engine? No, that's probably the coal car, right? Where there's coal in there, but it looks like I made a window, so I kind of screwed this up, but I didn't look at that. Not sure what that is. Yeah, it does. It looks like another train car that has people in it. Oh well. See, I should have found a nice one with the coal engine in the back there, and this will work. This will work fine and dandy. Bring it forward, and here's one person who's wearing red, and this person's, there's one over there, maybe this person. And now into the train. Well, let's do this big area here. I always like to get big areas done. So we're gonna go in here, and these are the rails, and of course I'm gonna use a flat brush here because these are flat rails, right? And so I will go with some dark, and I will leave some of the top part where the top of the rail is showing. That's gonna be light. So I'll put something together, and I'm gonna make some really, really dark, super, super dark, and I'll float some other colors in there because it is farther forward. So I'm gonna make things dark, super, super dark, and maybe at the same time I'm also gonna do some of this foliage and weeds and stuff, make that dark. You can make some of it blue and green and red and all the colors you could possibly think of. And then the edges of this seems like they're very distinct, the edge of the rail. So I get a couple of that. And so a lot of this is made up. I mean, I'm just going to go over here and just put a bunch of darks in there. Bring it warm, put a little warmth in there because it is coming forward. Looks like there's one right here, rail. These are extra rails that they use to put in there when some go bad, I guess. And some of these look a little bit lighter, more gray. So let's start with a gray in there. Any questions? Nope, no questions. And let's get another dark, dark. Place violet in there. Red, and I know it looks really dark, but I don't want to give too much detail in there because it's not that important. It's just it's a dark front. You know there are going to be rails. I mean, what else could it be? I mean, our mind is smart enough to know what things are. And there's a lot of tape right here, so it's going over the tape. And on my monitor, this looks really dark, but there's a lot of color in here. There's a lot more color than it looks on my monitor, on my laptop. I'll make this part a little dark right there. Here, the rail itself is dark. I'm gonna put that in there too. Underneath the my cow catcher. Is that what they call those? Cow catcher. We'll put that in there underneath it. Now this doesn't have a really fancy one, like with the lines going down. If you want to do that, you can put it in if you want. And then we're gonna make the engine nice colors, nice darks and super fun darks. And then on the side is not as dark, so we're gonna put a little shadow underneath here going, and then oh, see the rail goes this way. That's not even the rail. Oh, I'm gonna make it a little bit different. I'm gonna put the rail right there and make this like that because it almost looks like that's the rail. And then in between, maybe what I'll do is I'll just do a couple of these. Put some texture in here. Put some warmth down into this ground work here. Same thing here. There's some shadowing. How much time do we have? I haven't even looked. Oh, we still got plenty of time, I think. Not sure how long this is going to take still. You're intensely following me? Okay, that's good. At least somebody's intensely following me because I'm not sure how intense I am. I gotta get more intense here. I gotta start thinking of what I'm gonna do up here. Let's see. We're gonna go dark. Let's go dark. I wish I would have used a better paper because this is definitely different. And so there's that. Little dark lines around this, the light, and then we're going to do the top of the engine. And now there's windows there, so let me put some color from the sky into the windows. Usually, if you have windows that are showing, usually just reflect sky color into them. It could be the same value, same color, light, and because that's what happens. It's like a mirror. It reflects once it's dark inside the car, then you can just reflect the color of the sky into the window. It happens a lot with windows. You can, and even these, I could put a little of that in there too, unless you can see straight through and then you don't see a shine to them. But I find that a lot of times if you put the color of the window and from the sky, it looks really cool. It's a better look. So going around here. So we're going down, and so the side of this train is nice and dark going forward here. There's three lights that are really bright right on that, right? And so that's pretty much the only thing that's light on this. Some of it you can't even see in the picture, but I'm gonna make it just interesting. I'll put the shapes in there, but I still will make it really dark, but I put a few extra shapes that I don't even know what they are. I just fake the shapes in there. Like I know these are windows, and I know there's a big round circle here in the front of the engine, but over here where I'm not sure what's happening over here. A bunch of little gizmos and gadgets and pipes and all kinds of stuff over here. This way too. Just so what I do is I just make lines and horizontal lines, vertical lines, rectangles. And then once you have the dark in there, don't be afraid of putting color in that dark. Otherwise, it just looks too black. And so I'm going to take some of the colors like this red, I'll reflect it right there. Like it's reflecting over that way, which it really isn't, but we do that. We make things more reflective and give it all kinds of interest from what's around the area. And then work it with the darks in here. I kind of do the same on both sides so that you feel like, it's symmetrical. And I kind of almost like this being really dark or really light, but you can't do that. So I'm gonna have to put this in here. And then I'll put a nice color there, like it's really reflecting red in this corner and really dark in that corner. So down here, make it really dark. And then there's like a little plate in the middle that's round, and so I'm just gonna suggest them in the picture, and then everything around the light. The light's the only thing that's really light is the light itself. And I mean, look how dark it is. It's nice that way though. And then put color, and I'm not sure if you can see how much color I have in here. And it's kind of hard to see, right? But it's very dark, but there is like a little bit of red coming through there. Making it a little bit thicker so you can actually see warmth to it. I kind of wish I had my airbrush here now because I could spray a little white so make it look like the lights are actually lighting up right there. Black. The thing is, if you do something this dark and you make things this dark, you better put it somewhere else. And especially like this guy right here, we're gonna have to make him really dark too because otherwise it doesn't fit together. You have to kind of go back in here and make other things dark too. So we'll make him walking forward. And then we're going to put the shadow across there. And then all these guys are in the shadow too, a little bit, but not quite as dark as this guy. And don't make them so ugly with just no one color. I'll give him like a top that's blue maybe. He's got a backpack on. And he's holding, see, I hope he's holding something. No, he's got a backpack. He doesn't need to hold anything. And then these guys here, let's make them warm because I got a lot of warm in here. You got to think that this side is the dark side. The left side is the dark side. This side should be a little bit brighter on this side. I'm not sure why I didn't do that. So I'm going to put a little bit of this blue right there. Oh, that's a little bit too light. Not that light. It's floating, but that's a little bit too light. And then I'm going to put a little bit of warmth. Here now these people, I'm going to do gestured people. Bob's Blobs or David Stabs. Those are just gestured people. Some people call it carrot stick figures. You know, you do like a carrot stick. And just like they're waiting, and here's this guy's got a big suitcase that I'm not sure what's in there. It's too big. And then we're gonna put this guy a little bit farther apart here. They're not social distancing the way they should be. Come on, guys, too close together. And so we'll go a little bit closer. This guy here, we got a kid in the back here. And we'll put a little bit. What else there? Tina, thank you very much for the waxing video. So if you got my newsletter, and anybody who doesn't get my newsletter, you can sign up for my newsletter on my website. And I just did a waxing your painting video in my last newsletter, so look for that. And actually, it's on my YouTube channel, so you don't even have to get the video or the newsletter. You can just go to my YouTube channel and find it there. And then there's a little bit of writing here on the train itself. And here we probably have some kind of European sign. I'm just going to put a little bit of red and then there's like a little red stripes on there or something. And then there's a stop right there. Oh, look at those people all getting on. Isn't that nice? They're all getting on. And I have more shadows of them against on the floor here behind them. And then there's a sign on the wall here where the train is going. Handle here, front handle, and what else we got here? It's getting pretty close, guys. My gosh, I can't believe I almost done. We still have plenty of time left. What are you saying? That waxing video is free. I can't wait for to try it. Great. I'm thinking you're saying great, right? The waxing video is great. I can't wait to try it. Thanks, Kat. It was fun to make too. And actually, all my paintings are gonna be waxed now. I'm gonna try to get away from putting glass on my, unless you have to do it for a show. I'm gonna try to get away from putting glass on my paintings. Yeah, I mean, it makes it also makes it more you can make them more expensive because then they're like a oil painting, and oil paintings always get more money. So make them a little bit more expensive then too. But the thing is, you have to get a nice oil painting frame. Don't put a oil watercolor frame on it unless you have a little bit of the what you call it, the matte on it, because otherwise it'll look kind of weird without a matte, and it's gonna be really thin, and you don't want that either, right? It'll look kind of weird having it look like that. And so this is all going to be like little shadows of the smoke on the wall there. And what else we got here, guys? Ask me some questions. I think I'm almost done. Oh, Sue, great question. Great question. Yes, I am going to be doing a video on mounting your watercolors on a board before you even wax them, because if you're going to make a panel, you gotta make a panel. So it's like a panel that's going to be like an oil painting panel that you put into a frame. So that's going to be coming up when I get back, but it may not be for a couple of weeks, because after I get back from this, I got 1 week, and then I'm going up to Dillman's and Minocqua. I have 2 workshops up there. So I may not be able to get it right then and there. So I'll have to wait a couple more weeks. And I do have a couple of projects that I've got going right now with a gallery I work with. And so, but yeah, you're going to be using PVC. no, pH balanced, I think, glue, and you're gonna be smearing it onto a panel, and I'll see what kind of panels they have out there. You can do some gator board or hardboard, and we'll do a whole video on that, guys, and we'll get it out there for you. But it's always good to do it in standard size too, so that you can find frames that go standard size for it, for your frames, and then you just plop them right in without a glass. Let me think now. These lights, I'm gonna put a little of beige in there, or let's see how that's going. How's this going? There. Hit this with a couple darks, and I think we're almost done, guys. As you can see something on my thing, or something I should have mentioned. And I think I got the people. They're all waiting. Some of the green over here. Well, I think that's it. Let me take the tape off, and I think we're good, guys. Unless you see something, maybe the side of the building. You can look through the smoke here. Just a little hint of the building, like right there, to make the smoke look like it's around there. So you see more of the smoke, how it's like billowing right there. And that's throwing a shadow across the building too. All right, I think we're good, guys. So until next week, and then if you guys again have a subject matter you want me to tackle, let me know. I'll try to find it. And, thanks whoever, I forgot who it was that wanted to do a train, but thanks for the suggestion. And I think it was kind of fun. I haven't done a train in a long time, and I'm so glad to see Ted Rose's work again. I really do enjoy his work. Oh, this green is really bugging me. So we're not leaving yet, guys. There's enough time. This green is not good. That has to be warm. So let me show you how to rub out. Let me show you how to rub out. Thanks, Barbie. You like old trains? Cool, cool. Yeah, it's really fun to see old old things. Anyways, like old cars, old trains, old everything. It's kind of neat to see where they went from here, and they're so modern. But these old trains are really cool. So let me make this so not quite that green really bugged me. So I'm gonna have to make a little bit more warmth in there. Just put that in there. Like if you have a color that doesn't match anything in your painting, you have to change it. Otherwise, it draws your eyes too close to that area. I don't mind the yellow because I have yellow somewhere else, and so that's okay. And I may even put one of these people in more of a yellow. Let's put this guy in more of a yellow. Let's have a little more yellow there, and I think we're good. Let's take the tape off, and we'll call it a day. And I may have to go out and get myself a beer, anyways. Come on. This is masking tape and it's really hard. Let's take this off of here. And also, I wanted to mention too, one more thing I wanted to mention before you go is that thank you for going to my website. And when you're buying stuff on Amazon, go through my website to buy stuff on Amazon because it really helps me out a lot to keep the newsletter free, and also it gives me a little bit of spending money to get stuff on Amazon myself because I get a little bit of cut of what you buy, and it doesn't you don't pay anything for it. You just go through my website, type in what you want to looking for, and it's all good. And it benefits for me and you because I can keep these things free. Thank you always for a great jam. Workshops at Dillman or other locations. Thank you for a beautiful demo. Yep, but my workshop at Dillman is coming up. It's coming up in 2 weeks. And it's not a watercolor workshop. It is a acrylic workshop, a water media because we use the acrylics like watercolor. And so it's a fun one. And I've got some really, really, really good reference that I used this week. I'm going to use some of that, and you're going to really love this reference. I really got some really neat things that we're going to be painting. And I'm going to use it for my workshops. Not for my paint-alongs because it's a little bit more difficult, but they're so cool, you know. And I'll probably show them a little by little. All right, so here we have the piece. And also, oh, I want to mention, look at this right underneath here. This is, Holbein has a new set of colors. They're not new, but these are all pastel colors. So check this out. These are all pastel colors. It's all colors that have pastel, you know, that pastel look. Pink, shell pink, brilliant pink. You got this nice yellow, Jean number two. You got this leaf green, a compose green. What do we have here? Emerald green. We have composed blue and horizon blue and lavender and verditer blue, lavender and lilac, all beautiful colors of the pastel rainbow. And so you check them out. Now they have white in them, but when you want to have some pastel colors in your work, you know, look at they have some really great pastel colors. All right, so until next week, we'll see you guys later, guys. Bye bye.